Well, I just started a new program at school. I've been at a school for a couple of years, so I just went back after being out for 2 years. And it's a master's program, so it's pretty intense. There's a placement aspect to it as well, so trying to balance the two, it's just a lot on my plate right now, so I'm a little anxious today. Even taking time out of doing schoolwork to be here is kind of putting me off, so.
That makes sense, yeah. So you feel like there's a lot you have to do for your program right now?
Oh yeah, it's a pretty intense program, and I'm kind of nervous to be back in school after being out for so long because I feel as if I forgot all of the skills of time management and, being on top of my schoolwork that I had thought I had mastered when I was in my undergrad. So definitely feeling out of sorts right now.
Out of sorts. Yeah, so you feel like you don't really have the skills quite like you used to in this educational program.
Yeah, it's a whole new ball game. A lot of the kids in the program have social science backgrounds. I come from an arts background, so I kind of feel like I'm behind the ball in a sense. Like I feel like I'm one step behind everybody else, and it makes me a little, insecure when I'm in the classroom with them. So, yeah.
So you're anxious about the fact that you don't really have the background that other students might have.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel as if my English background could come in handy, but there's always that worry at the back of my mind that it's going to take me a lot longer to learn the skills that these kids are already bringing to the classroom. So, yeah. But the reason I'm here today, if I had to name one thing, would be obviously mastering, time management skills, because I find I procrastinate a lot. And that creates even more anxiety, so
you feel like you don't have enough time just day to day, and you feel like you don't have the skills quite to overcome that shortage of time.
Yeah, it makes starting an assignment that much more difficult because I worry about if I'm doing it properly. I want to do things right the first time, and I just wish I could sit down, complete an assignment, and just take the criticism and move on. I seem to always be stuck at that starting point, and I create more of a mess for myself.
You're hung up on the point that you're making mistakes when you're doing work, and that's keeping you from actually completing the work.
Yeah, sounds like I'm my own worst enemy.
No, not necessarily. I just want to kind of get the story straight,
Yeah.
Make sure that I understand your feelings entirely. So, backing up to even your previous academic experiences, what were you doing during that time that made you feel like you could overcome those tasks?
It's weird. In my undergrad, I would consistently run into this problem where the need to be perfect would stop me from doing things. But for some reason, now that I'm in my master's degree, I forget that I actually overcame all those obstacles. It's like, even though I know I can do it, when you're faced again with the fact that these scary feelings of trying to be perfect and do everything right the first time confront themselves, or you're faced with them, you feel like you didn't really overcome them to begin with. You feel like you're still back at square one. So
school for you isn't necessarily about, learning everything you need to know. It's also about being perfect and achieving everything that your professors want.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. I've come to that conclusion that I have such a skewed view of school where even though I know the point is to learn and to challenge myself, I always want to do things right the first time. I can't let myself struggle. And I find myself imposing that on my professors, unfairly, I would say, to help me do it right the first time. Give me what you want and I'll just give it back to you. Don't let me struggle. So, and I hope there's learning along the way, but
you want to be an expert just like them.
Yeah, I want to have everything right the first time, and I need that validation that I'm right so that I can continue to perform well, and they know that I'm not lazy or a procrastinator. It's almost like setting myself apart from my colleagues or from other students, my peers, because I put more pressure on myself to not be associated with the typical student, and it creates quite a bit of anxiety.
Do you feel like you're often competing with your peers, or do you see them as resources?
No.
No resource?
No. Always competition. Even in high school, I've had the same friends since I was in elementary school, and the same two girls. We went to school, elementary together, we went to high school together, and we even took the same courses in college together. And consistently, throughout the 10, 15-year span that was, I always felt as if I had to beat them. I don't know why, I don't know where these feelings came from, but I always saw them as competition rather than resources.
So, also considering the time between school, did you still have those feelings of procrastination when you weren't in school, or did you kind of feel differently working a job or doing whatever you were doing during that time?
You know what? When I'm out of school, those feelings will still follow me. It's almost as if I create the problem. Like I need to feel constantly overwhelmed in order to feel productive. Like if everything is perfect, then I'm not progressing. I need to have that little voice in the back of my mind that says you're not good enough, you're still inadequate, so that I feel as if I'm moving towards something. I felt when I was out of school for 2 years, it was a very difficult 2 years because I felt as if everyone was passing me by. So once again, it's a competition. And I felt very down and sad about my lot in life, and that's why I kind of chose to go back into a master's program, because I kind of felt like I had a better story to tell people. This is getting real, man.
So, from what it sounds like, you kind of have this overarching goal in your mind that you want to kind of become better than other people around you and show that you're doing better, and you kind of feel like you're a little bit behind in that area, and that's promoting a lot of anxiety and sadness in you.
Absolutely. So one of the things that I would like to improve upon, I don't think procrastination is the problem. I think it's the top surface layer, and it's the underlying need to be the best, to compete, to get things right the first time that is really resulting in that procrastination. So, I mean, I don't know what I could do to overcome those feelings. I think I've had them since I was little. Like, they've always been there in school, no matter what, and in other elements too, like work and stuff. So I don't know.
So this has been going on throughout your entire life?
Yeah. I can't imagine a time when I wasn't overwhelmed by school. I can remember crying every summer when it was time to move up a grade that it was going to be that much harder. Mm-hmm. And my parents were saying, "Oh my God, you do this every year. Why are you crying about it? It's going to be okay." I would cry going from grade 1 to grade 2. Oh my God, it's going to be so hard. Like I would catastrophize things.
So moving on in your life also kind of seems like something that provokes some anxiety in you.
Oh yeah, not a big fan of change.
In this program, do you feel like you have a plan? Do you feel like you know where you're going right now?
Nope. And that scares me too, because a lot of the program is choosing courses now so that you know, or you'll be well prepared for a career, whatever stream you choose. And I'm just saying to people, I'm open to everything, because I don't have a focus yet, and I don't want to be wasting my time. I wish I had a better focus, but it's unrealistic at this point.
So you feel like even though you're doing things right now, it could be a waste of time in the end because you still don't have a clear idea of what you want to do.
No. No, I don't have an idea what I'm doing, and yeah, you're right. It's not a good place to be in, but I'm hoping if I can just pull through the next 2 years and have that master's degree in my pocket, that I'll be in a better position than if I still maintained working, useless part-time jobs doing nothing. I don't know, it's like having the title will mean something more, even if I don't use it.
So this degree is kind of like a security for you, just getting the degree itself.
It's like a badge of
something
honor.
You've done.
Yeah.
Proves
Look,
your
I
worth.
can do it. And it's like proving it to other people, not even myself. It's like, look, I have a master's degree, I'm worthy.
But you're not sure what it's worthy to help you do.
No. I have no self-worth, like no purpose that really motivates me. It's like a day-to-day, how can I prove my worth to other people to keep me going?
Well, from what I understand, everything you've been talking about pretty much is related to more academic and professional settings. It's kind of a fear of moving forward and a fear of not being enough in some ways. And it kind of sounds like procrastination is not really helping you feel like you're doing enough day to day to get you where you want to be. And just doing a little bit more each day does seem to make you feel like you're accomplishing something, but you're not really sure exactly what it is you're trying to accomplish. Does that sound about right?
That would be about right, yeah. Because I do feel when I complete things a sense of accomplishment, but it only lasts so long until the next obstacle presents itself and then I'm right back in the same place.